Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
What the fuck conspiracy theory did you want to spew at the end of the last episode?
So basically what we're talking about is the fact that, if, from what I understand, there's some weird thing that's talking about the Trump and what happens if the election is looked at as illegitimate, and if it goes on and nobody can declare a winner. Basically, if you get enough places to declare illegitimate voting or whatever, it ends up going to, if there's no decision that's made before inauguration, it becomes a House issue. This is all just from me reading news articles. I don't know, and I know they did this in House of Cards, but I still don't quite understand it all. House of Cards did something weird too, where they still elected a vice president, and the vice president served until they figured out. I don't even know if that's true, one of the amendments. But long story short, whatever, it becomes a House issue.
I think it does. I don't know for sure. I mean, I'd love to read what article you're talking about.
But the House, it's a House issue in a different way than just being that you have basically a majority Democrat, so clearly they're not going to go vote for the Republican person, or a majority Republican, so clearly not going to go vote for the Democratic person. It becomes each state's representatives in the House. If you have you have to have the majority of representatives in the House for a party to get a vote. Otherwise, you split the vote in some way, shape, or form. I don't quite understand what
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Long story short, I'm gonna look for an article on this because I don't really know what I'm talking about, but it really breaks.
So the last time we had an election that was not decided by the votes was Bush v. Gore, and the Supreme Court made the decision. That's why the confirmation of Amy COVID Barrett is such a big deal.
January 28th. Wait, what's this? Oh, never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
That was my whole thought. that it typically goes to the Supreme Court to make the decision. There has been talk about Trump wanting to send different electorates from the states instead of following whoever, if someone's supposed to go and represent Biden as the electorate, not sending that person and sending a Republican instead, so that the Electoral College is rigged in a way.
So apparently, sorry, I'm just reading this flow. There's somebody that has a flow chart, which is nice. Basically, does a candidate have 270 or 70 or more electoral votes? Yes, then blah, blah, blah. It happens. No. There's two pathways on no. First one is vice president. The Senate votes. One vote for the vice president. The Senate votes. One vote per senator. 51 needed to elect. The other pathway is for the president. The House of Representatives votes. One vote per state. 26 needed to elect.
Now I understand. You're talking about if neither campaign gets the 270 needed, which there is less than a 1% chance of that happening in this election.
What do you mean there's less than 1%?
There's there's polls for what can happen, and that's one of the scenarios 538 runs is a situation where neither candidate hits 270, and there's less than 1% chance that neither candidate will.
They're going to try to declare some of the votes illegitimate, some of the states illegitimate, and that's how they're going to pull that off. That's part of the plan.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
And when it goes to the House, they get one vote per state. 26 needed to elect. The thing is, each state has multiple representatives.
Right.
And that vote only counts if you have a majority in that state of a party. The thing is, there's only, if you add it up, there's a majority Democrat less than there's the majority states of Republican.
You're saying less than 26 states have a majority that are Democrat House Representatives?
Well, there's the numbers I had read, and I wish I could find that article, but it was something like there's 22 states in the House that have a House majority, a Democratic majority. There's 24 states that have a Republican majority.
Well, then
even though there's other states that have one of each. That add up. That's why Democrats have more. There's some weird way it's split that why Democrats still have more people in the House right now. But when you split it by state, they don't.
this scenario that you're talking about is so far fucking fetched that this is like not even worth your brain space, honestly.
I disagree with you.
There's no way this is the scenario that plays out. It makes way more sense for like it end up in the Supreme Court or something like that.
Why does it end up in the Supreme Court? I don't even see that. I don't see that anywhere.
Well, you've lived it before. You watched it happen when the Supreme Court decided the winner of Al Gore v. Bush.
The Supreme Court just made it to stop counting votes. The recount was done, but it was a recount.
They ended the recount. The recount never finished. They decided that election.
I'm not denying that they decided that election. I think this one's got a little different stakes, that it's not just going to be that a recount starts happening and then.
I mean, recounts only happen. There's conditions for recounts, right? Like you can't just say
it's
like
got to be close. It's got to be close enough in the first place,
right?
The Supreme Court didn't just. Where are you at? The Supreme Court didn't just say in that election, like, we're declaring like this person wins. They were like, we're declaring the recount over. Isn't that what happened?
I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah. I mean, it's been so fucking long. I don't remember. And I was younger, so I wasn't following this to the same degree I am following this election. And it's been a long time since I read like about the Supreme Court in that particular case. So I don't remember the exact details. So I don't really want to talk like I do, I guess. So yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I think this was more like, the funny thing is, did you watch House of Cards?
No.
House of Cards?
I did not.
In the last episode, the last season that I watched of House of Cards, which was the last one with Kevin Spacey.
Wait, they did one without him?
They did one without him afterwards that I never watched because I kind of lost interest in the show. And then the whole thing with Kevin Spacey came out, like made people like not like that man anymore. And therefore the show kind of lost popularity because of that. But I didn't not watch it because of that situation. I just kind of lost interest. The last season that I watched, they played out this event that they basically forced some states to declare the election illegitimate. Therefore, nobody made it to the 270 votes, which now makes more sense to me that the vice president got voted in by the Senate, and why the vice president got voted in, because I could never remember why that happened. Because the person, spoiler alert for a show that's like, 8 years old at this point or whatever, that the vice president who gets voted in got voted in when there was no presidential candidate voted in yet, because that was still deemed as illegitimate, which is interesting in this scenario. It's almost kind of like you'd like to see certain things go to this scenario, because you have the Senate voting for the vice president and the House voting for the president. You literally could have a Senate or vice president and a president from two different parties.
Mm-hmm. We used to do that actually for years and years and years and years.
I did not know that.
Yeah, like the way it started out was whoever lost the presidential election became the vice president.
Wait,
you
what?
Didn't, yeah, you didn't run. Like, for instance, our second president's James Adams, and the vice president's Thomas Jefferson because he lost. And the third president's Thomas Jefferson, and Aaron Burr is the vice president because he lost.
Do you know that from your musical?
I knew it before that, but I mean, I do also know it from my musical.
Does it talk about that in the musical?
Yeah. Yeah, like after
I didn't know that about American history.
I don't know when it changed.
I feel ashamed that I didn't know that.
Yeah, it changed eventually, obviously. But yeah, you didn't used to come in this with a running mate. You ran as for president, and then, well, I guess George Washington didn't run. He was just named the commander in chief. But after him, every election was, until it was changed, whoever lost. But yeah, in the musical, there's actually a joke about it because Aaron Burr comes up to James Madison. He's like, "I look forward to working with you, sir." And James Madison goes, "Look at this fool talking about working with me. You just actively campaigned against me, and you want to work with me now?" And Aaron Burr's like, "Well, that's how it works." And James Madison's like, "Well, maybe we could change that. You know why? Because I'm the president." I don't think James Madison was the one that, or Thomas Jefferson. Sorry, not James Madison. I don't know if Thomas Jefferson's the one that actually changed it or not. I don't think he was, but yeah, it does get brought up in Hamilton.
I'll be ashamed to tell you that I didn't know until recently that there didn't always exist term limits.
Yeah, I mean, even whenever it wasn't amended into the Constitution for a long time. We just did it like
I assumed I learned that in history class about term limits and what they were. I assumed that was because that was the beginning of America. They decided that there was term limits on the presidency. I didn't know that was something added later.
Yeah, no,
there was people who served more than that.
Well, they did it. It was like until I think FDR is the only person.
Say, yeah, wasn't it relatively recently?
I think FDR is the only one that has served more than 2 terms. I believe. I don't actually remember. Because George Washington served 2 terms and he left. And he did that in a way to set the kind of the precedent that this is what we will do. We will transfer power after 2 terms. So that was kind of his intention, but it was an unwritten one. I think that's what we've learned so much about politics, especially during the Trump administration, is so much of politics are
FDR is the only one, and he served 4.
Yeah, I thought it was FDR. But yeah, so much of politics are these unwritten nuances that are just honor based. And so it's honestly, it's really time. It's a shame we can't ratify the Constitution without 2/3 majority to do that from the states, because it's time that the Constitution,
because honor's gone.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's time that we put in writing what it means to hold these offices and what is expected almost, because expecting people to do these things based on honor is not going to work in the future. It's only going to get worse in the Trump administration. He's shown what presidents can get away with. And, we may elect Joe Biden next, and Joe Biden may follow a similar path that we've had in the past because, he's been a politician his whole life. But that doesn't mean that we're not 10 years away or even 4 years away from absolute insanity whenever someone that is not only as vicious as Donald Trump, but also intelligent gets in office. That's a fucking nightmare scenario.
Yep, because there was the Constitution was written with the thought that whoever was elected to office would be for everybody's best interest, not their own.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, it was written expecting that the person that gets elected president has probably read the Constitution, has, it was never, this country was never intended to end up ran by, a reality TV star that isn't even rich. He was only proposed to be rich because fucking Mark Burnett made him look rich. Like, the whole thing's a fucking joke. Honestly, Mark Burnett's to blame for all of this. Like, he's cool because he made Survivor, but otherwise he ruined our country.
Yeah, Mark Burnett, I'm gonna hate you forever unless you put me on your next season of Survivor. So yeah, if you don't want this random internet guy to hate you, you should.
All right, you've heard it here, Mark.
Yeah, Mark, balls in your court.
I'm sure he's trembling. Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds so nasty. Where's a bed? Oh, people just slept.
Yeah, there's a bed on the boat now, but I don't know where these things are at.
They're above me, but they're just not doing anything anymore. They swooped down twice and then they floated in the sky and burned.
No, I mean, I hear some.
The ones above me just died. Did you ever finish this witch farm?
Which farm? Yeah, witch farm's done.
That's probably what I see out here. Wait. I see these structures off in the distance.
Wait, why is there bamboo out there?
I don't know. That's why there's structures in the distance and bamboo. It looks like a big apple press or something.
I don't know why there's bamboo here, and I hate it. What? This is awful.
There's just ridiculous sounds of
witches dying.
No, of mine carts.
Mine carts.
That's all I hear in there. There's witches dying with those minecarts.
I guess maybe minecarts bring items. I don't know anything about that. I don't know what's going on with this bamboo, but I hate it.
What is this?
This is where all the items go. This is the AFK point.
Oh.
You're supposed to come up here and stand.
There's a lot of bamboo too. A lot of bamboo. If this has nothing to do with what you did, it's a lot of it.
No, it has nothing. That's not been there before. That wasn't there last time I came here.
Is this observer block observing the player?
Yes. So if you're a patron, come in here.
Where's in? Yeah.
If you're a patron, you can come stand in here, and if you stand on this golden pressure plate, this is the AFK spot, by the way. It will occasionally trickle down on you an item from the witch farm.
Occasionally.
Yeah. It's like every 30 seconds or something, you'll get one item.
If you're not a patron, how many do we get all the time?
I mean, you can have whatever you want if you're just take what you need out of here.
But no, what is here, come back down here. What is the purpose of this?
What? This observers? It sends a signal up to do that trickle down thing I just showed you.
How does this one though? Isn't this the signal output?
I think so, but I don't know anything about it. It works, so don't talk to me.
Okay.
I don't know. It works, so I guess
it blinked red on me when I was just standing here, and I was like, I thought there was only one output signal for these. We determined.
No, I think it must come out of both sides or something. I don't know.
I thought one was the face and one was the.
So I guess this sends out a signal, but this other observer observes the state of this observer changing. So even though it's not pointed at it, it still observes the state changing.
Actually, that makes sense. Yeah, it's just a state changer. Okay, but okay.
It turned red because I was standing on the pressure plate inside.
Well, but that still makes a lot of sense too, because it just observes a state change. But if I want to
send a signal,
actually send a signal, it can only be out of one face.
Right.
Okay.
So the bamboo had to be planted by someone like Ryu Dahl, someone that can. I hate it.
I just don't quite understand it. I'm not saying I hate it. It does add something to the terrain.
Well, I don't want there to be anything here. That was literally the whole fucking point of me flattening this thing, and making it.
Yeah, why did you flatten it?
Because this is the aesthetic I wanted. I think it looks cool.
Well, I was gonna say, didn't you? What is this stuff on the ground? I don't want to destroy it, but what is it?
It's just a path.
Okay, so it's path.
Yeah.
So nothing can spawn on it.
Right.
So I'm sure dirt with bamboo.
Yeah, nothing can spawn on that either, but it doesn't fall into my plan for what this is supposed to look like.
Well, but I would bet whoever put it down, in their defense, they probably were like, he just wants to make sure nothing can spawn, so we'll still add something to make it aesthetically pleasing.
Whoever that person is must not have paid attention to the fucking month it took me to do this, because I literally talked about it the whole time, though. Because it came up often, because everyone was like, why are we flattening this? Why don't we just path it all? And I was like, I want it to be flat. I want nothing else here but an open area and this.
Yeah, you could have just easily pathed the whole mountain.
Yeah, you didn't need to flatten it at all.
Right, yeah, flattening it seems like a lot of work.
It was, on purpose. And we had to still touch grass to bring it out there, because you cannot path block a dirt block. So like, even if I go and fix this bamboo, I have to go so touch a bunch of grass to do it now.
Oh shit, that is a lot of.
Can you
unpath the grass?
No. Once it's pathed, if you pick it up, it becomes just dirt again, right?
And it won't grow grass unless it's next to grass.
Exactly.
What an awesome mechanic that has been, like, from the beginning of Minecraft. That would not have been the first thing I would have thought to put into a game. And it's been there since the beginning, right?
Grass has been here, yeah.
Grass, but the fact that you could, if you placed dirt somewhere, it just didn't become grass.
Right, unless it was beside grass.
Or did it?
No, if it was beside grass, grass would spread always. But
dirt never became grass.
Right.
Not just on its own.
Right, exactly. And I think the reason for that is because you don't want dirt turning into grass in the middle of a cave and stuff like that.
Or do you?
Well, Notch didn't. I guess. Is the thing.
Oh, the thought of Minecraft back in the day.
I'm curious now when we got running mates.
Yeah, that is really weird to me. I kind of like that concept better, though.
I mean, there are advantages to it, right? But, like, I guess you're not gonna ever see eye to eye, right?
Sure, but the fact that you made a straight two-party system is what you did when you got rid of that concept. That's what it just did. It forced a two-party system almost, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it forced not necessarily two. We just kind of whittled down to two, but you forced less cooperation. There's no question about that. I guess that's the exact way.
It was Thomas Jefferson that did it.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the exact way to combat a two-party system, is by making the two parties who are the top of the ballot to be the ones that are.
So it was suggested whenever John Adams, the amendment was suggested in 1796 when John Adams was the president with Vice President Thomas Jefferson.
Aren't there only like 26 amendments or something?
I looked this up recently and I don't remember the total number. It's not a lot.
But there's not many, right?
Right.
Why do I not know anything about 90% of the fucking amendments? Like,
why is it so many people only refer to the amendments, but they don't refer to the Constitution that it is amending? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that so many.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, it's bizarre that so many people can reference these amendments, but they can't reference the document that it is amending. Like, these amendments don't stand alone upon themselves. They are ratifying a document that already exists. Like, you should read the fucking starter text before you start talking about the fucking footnotes.
Why do I need to read the starter text when it's changed?
I mean, that is true. You do need to understand the parts that you're reading of the original document have been amended, I guess. But it is also interesting.
What about this Bill of Rights? Like, it's special, right?
It's true. But yeah, in 1804.
Why is the Bill of Rights so special just because it's the first 10 amendments? It was just all done at once, right? Wasn't that the first time like all the amendments were like put into place, and it was called that because it was like, I thought we're amending this for like ever, and this is it. This is it.
I don't know why the first 10 amendments became known as the Bill of Rights specifically.
Probably because they never expected there to be any more.
No, because that was always a big part of that. I mean,
they never.
Hamilton was also like a huge part of. This always needs to be a document that can be changed. It's an ever growing document that will be changed.
Yeah, so let's outlaw alcohol and then relaw alcohol.
I mean, that was not a constitutional right, though. That's different.
But they did it in the amendments. You know that, right?
There was a constitutional amendment for prohibition?
Yes. And then there was a constitutional amendment to appeal prohibition. The only one that I know of that's been appealed. There's two amendments about prohibition, one making it and one abolishing it.
I didn't realize that. No, I just thought that was a federal law, prohibition. What amendment was it?
I'm trying to look it up right now because I don't know off the top of my head. 18th, 19th, and 21st is what came up. I didn't know that there was three. 18th Amendment was ratified, blah, 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 blah.
I think we have 27 amendments. I'm not 100% sure about that. But it's in it. I mean, the thing that's interesting to know about that is if 26, 27, whatever it is, the fact that we were passing our 12th amendment. I mean, I guess the Constitution was still, in its early phases at that point. So maybe it's easier to modify a document whenever you're still like working it out. Like, oh shit, that didn't work. Let's change it. So maybe that's why there's more amendments early on. But then if you look at the fact there's been like almost 300 years since then, 1776, yeah. And we haven't added but like 10 more amendments is just crazy, right?
Yeah, it looks like 18th Amendment was the prohibiting manufacturing, transportation, and sale of alcohol. 21st Amendment repealed the 18th Amendment. Literally, 21st Amendment repeals 18th Amendment. That's
right.
it.
Gotcha.
That's all it does. What's the 19th Amendment? Because that came up in a... The right of citizens to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States by any state or on the account of sex. Okay, so this is gender equality. Oh God, I'm getting killed in Minecraft by a guy. Yeah, what's the 19th Amendment here? Oh, don't kill me, Mr. Man. Oh, now there's some sound coming through. I'm going to get a copyright claim. Okay, turn that off. Thank you. History Channel started playing in the background of my video, so must be like Pawn Stars or something, right?
Yeah, that's history, right?
Yeah, I don't know why 19th got mixed in there, but it looks like 19th the quick glance I had before I had to run away from these things was the women's right to vote. I guess I should probably know what that is, but I don't. I'll be honest. I'm sorry. Sorry, ladies. I don't know what amendment that is. So there's a bed on the ship somewhere?
There is. It's up front here. You can see the pool from it. It's because these are the captain's quarters.
I haven't seen the pool yet. Ah, that's a glass thing. Hey, wait a minute.
There's a fucking door, Jeff. There's a blatant door on the front of this.
Just because there's a door. Okay, here we go. Oh god. What is the 19th Amendment? Is American women the right to vote? Yeah, I don't know why the 19th got mixed in with the when I first asked about prohibition, it was like 18th, 19th, and 21st Amendments.
I guess everyone's sobered up and they were like, oh, I guess fucking women are.
I guess
rights.
women can vote now.
Yeah. These guys couldn't get drunk at home anymore and their wives were bitching, so they were just like, all right, you can vote.
But yeah, I think that's like kind of a strange thing that you have these amendments in a way that you can make them and then you have to repeal them with other amendments.
Well, I mean, once you modify the Constitution, the only way to unmodify it is to modify it again, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's just a weird. You think at some point you could be like, okay, let's backtrack. Like, let's make a change log here. It's been redacted.
Right. Yeah. I see. I mean, I guess it's a little complicated, right? When you have the 18th Amendment, now you got the 19th Amendment. You don't want to be like, well, there's no 18th Amendment anymore because like it's confusing. Like now, I mean, do we need the next amendment now, the 18th Amendment, to like fill that hole?
Yeah, but when laws change,
shit.
Whoa.
Where'd he come from?
I don't know, but apparently he can't blow up our stuff here.
No, anything above a certain Y level doesn't take creeper damage. But yeah, that's the thing. I don't know where he spawned. Doll.
Jeez, doll. All the work that Good and I did to make this thing looks pretty. And
come and fuck it up with probably these stupid fences. No, it's probably up here actually. I don't know. Everything looks like it's half slabs though, and he's got lights everywhere. I don't know where that guy could have spawned.
I do like the way he did this iron lighting with the lanterns. It looks like those cool like outdoor patio light sets.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Do you notice the like chains over here to hold the lifeboats?
No.
Yeah, he's got off the side here. He's got like some bars and stuff, and there's chains hanging for the lifeboats.
Is he gonna make lifeboats?
I think so. I don't know. Guess we'll see. Maybe he'll come up with some way to like suspend Minecraft boats in the air.
That'd be ballsy.
You could probably put one glass pane down, so it'd just be like a line, and then put a boat on top of that. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I guess we'll see what it comes out to be eventually. So I spent these last two episodes filling up everything down there in terms of colored wool. So I think that's pretty good in terms of returning the wool now. So now what you really need to do is that last bit you want to do of sending the dye back, which would be convenient to have done.
I'm glad you did something because I did not.
Well, there's been a couple episodes where I've done nothing, so it's fine. But yeah, I think we should end this one here, and we'll see everybody in the next one.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye-bye.